The vanishing fleet, the warning from the star's commander Sarah Chan, stood in the command center of Luna Station, Earth's most advanced deep space monitoring facility. The massive holographic display showed countless stars, but today, something was different. Red warning lights flashed across every screen as her team worked frantically at their stations. The coffee in her mug had gone cold hours ago, but she barely noticed. Today would change everything humanity thought they knew about their place in the universe. "Commander, we're getting massive energy signatures," called out Lieutenant Torres from his sensor station. "Whatever's coming, it's big, really big." Sarah walked over to his station, her military boots echoing in the suddenly quiet room. The display showed readings that should have been impossible. Energy signatures so large they dwarfed anything humans had ever created. Dr. Marcus Rivera burst through the command center doors, his laboratory coat still covered in chemical stains from his latest experiments. As Earth's leading expert on alien technology, he had been studying crashed extraterrestrial vessels for the past 15 years. Most people didn't know about those crashes. The government had kept them secret, using the recovered technology to quietly advance human capabilities. "Sarah, tell me you're seeing what I think you're seeing," Marcus said, his voice tight with worry. Sarah nodded grimly. The sensors were picking up a fleet of ships emerging from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. Ships so massive they made Earth's largest vessels look like toys. The Dominion. Arrives the alien fleet materialized near Neptune, their arrival causing ripples in spacetime that every sensor in the solar system detected. 300 ships of various sizes hung in the darkness, their hulls reflecting no light. The largest vessel was easily 50 kilometers long, bristling with weapons that could crack planets. Captain Elena Vasquez received the emergency alert while running final tests on the ESS Defiant, humanity's first truly advanced starship. Built in secret using reverse-engineered alien technology, the Defiant represented everything humans had learned from decades of studying crashed extraterrestrial vessels. Elena had been chosen to command it not just for her piloting skills, but for her ability to think creatively under pressure. "All crew to battle stations," Elena announced over the ship's communication system. "This is not a drill." Her crew of 45 moved with practiced efficiency. They had trained for this day, hoping it would never come, but knowing it eventually would. Humanity had always known they weren't alone in the universe, but they had hoped for more time to prepare. The alien message came exactly 1 hour after their arrival. Every radio, television, and communication device on Earth received the same transmission simultaneously. The voice was artificial, translated by some advanced technology that made it sound perfectly human, yet somehow wrong. "Primitive species of the third planet," the voice announced. "You are designated as species number 4847 in our catalog. Your world has been selected for integration into the Dominion Empire. You have committed the crime of achieving faster-than-light travel without permission. Surrender immediately, and some of your population will be preserved as servants. Resist, and you will join the thousands of other species we have eliminated." Earth's hidden strength, what the aliens didn't know, was that humanity had been preparing for this moment for longer than most people realized. In secret facilities around the world, engineers had been building a space fleet using technology recovered from alien crashes. The Defiant was just the first of 27 advanced warships, each one incorporating lessons learned from studying extraterrestrial technology. Sarah activated the emergency protocols that had been in place for decades. Around Earth, hidden launch facilities opened for the first time. Ships that officially didn't exist launched from underwater bases, mountain complexes, and orbital platforms disguised as space stations. Within 6 hours, Earth's secret fleet was assembled and ready for battle. "This is Commander Chun to all vessels. Sarah's voice reached every human ship in the fleet. "Today, we find out what we're really made of. These aliens think we're primitives, but they're about to learn that humans don't surrender easily." The response from the fleet was immediate and unanimous. Every captain reported ready for combat. Marcus worked frantically in his laboratory, analyzing the alien transmissions and energy signatures. What he found worried him more than the threat of invasion. The aliens' technology was incredibly advanced, but it was also rigidly structured. Every signal, every weapon charge pattern, every ship movement followed precise mathematical formulas. They fought like computers, not living beings. The battle begins. The first confrontation happened near Mars. 3 alien scouting vessels encountered a patrol of human fighters led by Captain Rodriguez in his modified interceptor. The aliens attacked using perfectly coordinated beam weapons, expecting the human ships to follow standard evasive patterns. Instead, Rodriguez did something completely unexpected. He flew directly at the alien formation, rolled his ship upside down, and attacked from an angle that should have been suicidal. The alien ships, targeting computers, couldn't compensate fast enough. Rodriguez destroyed one vessel and damaged another before the aliens even realized what was happening. The third alien ship retreated, broadcasting confused reports to its fleet command about illogical human behavior patterns. Elena brought the Defiant into the main battle zone just as the alien fleet began its advance toward Earth. The massive enemy ships moved in perfect formation, their weapons charging in synchronized patterns. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Elena had never seen anything so precisely organized or so deadly. "All ships, this is Captain Vasquez," she announced to the human fleet. "Remember your training, but don't be afraid to improvise. These aliens think they know how space battles work. Let's show them they're wrong." The human fleet scattered in all directions, each ship following its own unique attack pattern. The aliens seemed confused by the chaotic human movements. Their battle computers had been programmed for thousands of years of warfare against other organized species. They expected formation fighting, predictable tactics, and logical decision-making. Instead, they found humans who attacked from impossible angles, used damaged ships as weapons, and seemed to enjoy the chaos of battle. The impossible victory for 6 hours, the battle raged across the inner solar system. Human ships, outnumbered 10-1, somehow managed to hold their own against the alien fleet. Every time the aliens adapted to one human tactic, the humans would try something completely different. Captain Martinez used his ship's cargo bay to launch surprise attacks. Commander Thompson flew her damaged vessel directly into an alien formation, using it as a missile. Lieutenant Jackson somehow managed to capture an alien fighter by ramming it with his ship's shuttle bay. The turning point came when Elena realized that the alien ships were all networked together. Their perfect coordination wasn't just training, it was a shared computer system that controlled their movements. If they could disrupt that network, the aliens would lose their greatest advantage. "Marcus, are you monitoring this battle?" Elena asked over the communication system. Marcus had been watching from Luna Station, recording every alien transmission and weapon signature. "Elena, I think I understand their weakness. They're too organized. Their ships can't operate independently." Asterisk working together, Elena and Marcus developed a plan that was completely insane by any reasonable standard. They would use the Defiant's experimental quantum resonance array to create interference in the alien network. The plan required Elena to fly her ship directly into the center of the alien formation, something that should have been instant suicide. The great vanishing Elena pushed the Defiant toward the alien flagship, dodging weapons fire that could have vaporized her ship with a single hit. Her crew worked frantically to charge the quantum array while alien fighters swarmed around them. The massive alien vessels slowly turned their weapons toward the single human ship that dared to challenge. Their command ship Dot, just as the alien flagship prepared to fire its main weapon, Helena activated the quantum array. The effect was immediate and completely unexpected. Instead of disrupting the alien network, the quantum field interacted with the aliens' hyperspace drives in a way no one had predicted. Space itself began to twist around the alien fleet. "What's happening?" Sarah demanded from Luna Station as her sensors showed impossible readings. The alien ships weren't being destroyed. They were disappearing. One by one, the massive vessels vanished from normal space, pulled into some kind of dimensional rift that the quantum interference had accidentally created. Within minutes, the entire alien fleet had vanished without a trace. 300 ships that had seemed invincible just disappeared, leaving behind only empty space and confused human crews. Elena stared at her instrument readings in amazement. The quantum array had created an unexpected interaction with the alien technology, opening rifts in space-time that had swallowed the entire invasion force. Questions without answers, Sarah immediately ordered search teams to scan the area where the aliens had vanished. The readings were unlike anything they had ever seen. Energy patterns suggested that the aliens hadn't been destroyed, but rather transported somewhere else. The question was where, and whether they could return. Marcus began analyzing the quantum field data, trying to understand what had happened. The interaction between human and alien technology had created effects that shouldn't have been possible according to current scientific understanding. It was as if the two technologies had been designed to work together, even though they came from completely different sources. Elena brought the Defiant back to Earth orbit, her crew exhausted but victorious. They had saved their world, but they had also opened a door to questions that would change everything. Where had the aliens gone? Were they still alive wherever they had been transported? And most importantly, what would happen when other alien species learned that Earth's primitive defenders had made an entire invasion fleet simply vanish? The victory celebrations were brief. Earth's leaders knew that this was just the beginning. Somewhere in space, the missing alien fleet was either dead or planning their return. Either way, humanity would need to be ready for whatever came next. The truth behind the vanishing into the unknown 2 weeks after the Great Vanishing. Elena found herself leading a reconnaissance mission to the edge of the solar system. The Defiant, now upgraded with additional quantum sensors, followed the faint energy trail left by the disappeared alien fleet. Behind her flew 5 other human vessels, each equipped with the latest technology Earth scientists could develop. Dr. Marcus Rivera had spent every waking hour since the battle analyzing the quantum field data. His findings were disturbing and fascinating in equal measure. The aliens hadn't been destroyed or sent to another galaxy. They had been transported to a parallel dimension that existed alongside normal space. More troubling was his discovery that the dimensional barrier was weakening. Commander Sarah Chan monitored the mission from Luna Station, surrounded by screens showing energy readings that defied explanation. The quantum signatures were getting stronger, suggesting that whatever had happened to the alien fleet was far from over. She had a growing suspicion that humanity's victory had been temporary at best. Captain Rodriguez piloted his fighter alongside the Defiant, his sensors picking up strange gravitational anomalies ahead. The space around them seemed to shimmer, occasionally as if reality itself was unstable. His instruments detected massive objects that shouldn't exist, shadows of ships existing in dimensions just beyond normal perception. The Discovery human fleet reached the coordinates where the alien ships had vanished and found something impossible. Space itself was torn open, revealing glimpses of another reality. Through the dimensional rifts, they could see the missing alien fleet, trapped in what appeared to be a mirror version of normal space. Elena ordered her ship closer to the largest rift, despite the protests of her crew. Through the transparent barrier, she could see the alien flagship, its hull cracked and systems failing. The massive vessel that had seemed so invincible was now drifting helplessly, its crew presumably fighting for survival in an environment they never expected to encounter. "My God," whispered Lieutenant Commander Walsh from the sensor station. "They're alive. The entire fleet is trapped in there, but they're alive." The readings showed that while the aliens were in a parallel dimension, they were still connected to normal space through quantum entanglement. The same technology that had saved Earth had become a prison for the invaders. Marcus's voice came through the communication system from Luna Station. "Elena, I'm detecting massive power signatures from their ships. They're trying to break through the dimensional barrier. If they succeed, they'll return with knowledge of our capabilities and probably reinforcements." The alien perspective through intercepted transmissions, the humans learned what had happened from the alien point of view. Admiral Korath of the Dominion. Empire had been commanding invasion fleets for over 2 centuries. He had conquered 47 worlds and eliminated dozens of species that refused to surrender. Earth was supposed to be his easiest victory yet. The quantum field generated by the human ship had interacted with the Dominion's hyperspace drives in a way their scientists had never anticipated. Instead of destroying the fleet, it had shifted them into a dimensional pocket where normal physics didn't work properly. Their weapons were useless, their communication systems barely functioned, and their life support systems were failing. What shocked Admiral Korath most was the realization that the humans had accidentally achieved something the Dominion Empire had been trying to perfect for thousands of years. Dimensional manipulation technology was theoretical to them, yet these primitive humans had used it as a weapon without even understanding what they were doing. The Admiral's personal logs, intercepted by human intelligence, revealed his growing amazement at human capabilities. The species he had dismissed as another simple conquest had demonstrated technological creativity that his people couldn't match. They had turned their own technology against them, using principles the Dominion didn't fully understand. The moral dilemma. Back on Earth, world leaders faced an unprecedented decision. They had the power to either rescue their would-be conquerors or leave them trapped in the dimensional prison. President Martinez of the Earth Alliance called for an emergency session to debate humanity's response to the situation. Some argued that the aliens deserved their fate. They had come to Earth with the intention of conquest and genocide. Leaving them trapped would ensure they could never threaten humanity again. Others, led by Dr. Rivera, argued that abandoning them would make humans no better than their enemies. Elena found herself at the center of the debate when she volunteered to lead a rescue mission. Her argument was simple but powerful. If we leave them to die, we become the monsters they expected us to be. If we save them, we prove that humanity is something special in this universe. The decision ultimately came down to a vote by the Earth Council. Representatives from every nation debated for hours before reaching their conclusion. By a narrow margin, they voted to attempt a rescue mission. The condition was that any rescued aliens would be required to share their technology and sign a peace treaty with Earth. The rescue mission. Elena began preparing for the most dangerous mission of her career. The plan required her to pilot the Defiant through the dimensional rift and into the parallel space where the aliens were trapped. The journey would be one way, unless they could find a method to return both fleets to normal space. Marcus worked around the clock to develop a stabilization field that could protect human ships in the alternate dimension. The technology was completely experimental, based on theoretical physics and alien technology that humans only partially understood. There was no guarantee it would work, and failure would mean trapping the rescue team alongside their former enemies. Captain Torres volunteered to lead a second ship through the rift, arguing that Elena would need backup if things went wrong. His vessel, the SS Courage, was equipped with emergency life support systems that could sustain both human and alien crews if necessary. The mission would require unprecedented cooperation between species that had been trying to kill each other. Just weeks earlier, the dimensional crossing was unlike anything humans had ever experienced. Reality shifted around them as they passed through the quantum barrier. Colors changed, gravity fluctuated, and their instruments gave readings that made no sense. Elena felt as if she was flying through a dream where the normal rules of physics were just suggestions. First contact redux. Human ships emerged into the parallel dimension to find the alien fleet in desperate condition. Several smaller vessels had already lost power completely, drifting dead in space. The flagship was still operational, but clearly struggling to maintain basic life support systems. The aliens had been trapped for weeks in an environment that slowly drained their technology. Elena opened a communication channel to the alien flagship, not knowing if they would respond or immediately attack. Admiral Korath's voice came through clearly, but his tone was completely different from the arrogant conqueror who had first contacted Earth. Human vessels, why have you come here? The Admiral asked. We are your enemies. We came to conquer your world and enslave your people. Logic suggests you should leave us to die in this place. Elena's response shocked every being listening. Because that's not who we are. We don't abandon people who need help, even if they tried to hurt us. The conversation that followed would be remembered as one of the most important diplomatic exchanges in galactic history. Admiral Korath admitted that in 2 centuries of conquest, he had never encountered a species that showed mercy to their enemies. The Dominion Empire ruled through fear and superior technology, but they had never learned the human concept of compassion. Technology exchange working together, human and alien engineers developed a solution to escape the dimensional trap. The key was combining human quantum manipulation technology with Dominion hyperspace drives. The aliens had the power, humans had the creativity, and together they could tear open a stable portal back to normal space. Dr. Rivera worked directly with the alien chief scientist, a being called Nexus Prime. Despite the language barriers and completely different ways of thinking, they found common ground in their love of discovery. The alien was amazed by human intuitive leaps in logic, while Rivera was impressed by the mathematical precision of Dominion science. The escape plan required perfect timing and trust between former enemies. Human ships would provide the quantum field, while alien vessels contributed their hyperspace energy. If either side made a mistake or decided to betray the other, both fleets would be destroyed. It was a test of faith that would determine the future relationship between their species. Elena coordinated the escape sequence from her position near a dimensional barrier. As both fleets powered up their systems, she felt the universe holding its breath. Everything humanity had learned about themselves and their place in the galaxy would be proven or destroyed in the next few minutes. The new alliance that combined escape was a complete success. Both fleets emerged from the dimensional rift into normal space, their crews cheering in languages that had never been heard together before. The alien ships that had come to conquer Earth now flew alongside human vessels as unlikely allies. Admiral Korath's formal surrender was broadcast across the galaxy, but his words spoke of partnership rather than defeat. The Dominion Empire had learned that there were different ways to interact with other species. Conquest and slavery were not the only options available to advanced civilizations. The technology exchange that followed benefited both species enormously. Humans gained access to advanced medicine, energy systems, and space travel technology. The aliens learned human creativity, adaptability, and the power of working together despite differences. Both cultures were transformed by the contact. Elena found herself appointed as the first human ambassador to the Dominion Empire. Her mission was to help negotiate a formal alliance between Earth and the alien civilization that had tried to destroy them. The irony wasn't lost on anyone that the person who had caused their disappearance was now helping to build a lasting friendship. The greater threat, the story's final twist, came when Admiral Korith revealed why the Dominion had been so aggressive in conquering other worlds. A greater threat existed in the galaxy, an ancient enemy that consumed entire star systems. The Dominion's expansion had been driven by desperation, not greed. They needed allies and resources to survive what was coming. The enemy was called the Void Swarm, a collection of artificial intelligences that had destroyed their creators millions of years ago. They moved from galaxy to galaxy, stripping worlds of all life and resources. The swarm had already consumed the outer rim of their galaxy and was moving toward the core worlds where Earth was located. Humanity's demonstration of dimensional manipulation technology offered new hope in the fight against the swarm. The ability to trap enemies in alternate dimensions could be the key to stopping an enemy that had seemed unstoppable. What had started as Earth's defense against invasion had become the foundation for a galactic alliance. Elena stood on the bridge of the Defiant, now equipped with both human and alien technology, looking out at a fleet that represented dozens of species working together. The aliens who had come to conquer Earth had instead found partners in the fight for survival. Humanity had proven that sometimes the greatest victories come not from destroying your enemies, but from turning them into friends. The universe was vast and dangerous, filled with threats that no single species could face alone. But it was also filled with possibilities for cooperation, understanding, and hope. As the combined fleet prepared to face the Void Swarm, Elena knew that whatever happened next, humanity would face it as part of something larger than themselves. They were no longer alone in the universe, and that made all the difference.